Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and we are in our last lecture for this year's Lightbox Expo 2020.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right, we just got done. With Expedition Art, my friend Manny Carrasco, and we did some drawing from Yellowstone National Park. Some of our trips there, we had a blast doing that. And so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my approach to bringing in photographic textures in my digital illustrations and character design, and how I do some of that photo bashing. And so it's pretty simple, but I thought it might be fun to create a little cute character, or at least a little character, and throw some photographic textures on it and see how it comes out. So we're going to do that. I've got Dustin here with me, and my son, who was always there on my side, helping me out with these. And we've got my business partner, Nick Birch, in Sarasota, Florida. He's going to be helping answering questions as well. And a couple of things I want to cover. If you guys want to get some exclusive deals and discounts and that sort of thing related to this year's Lightbox, then go over to creatureartteacher.com/LBX2020, and you can get some great deals on posters and courses and all kinds of great stuff over there. It's going to be really cool. And this is our last day, so you want to make sure you get over there and check them out. And also, I just put out a brand new course. We just finished a course I've been working on for the last 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
4 months.
My approach to how to draw birds of prey, and it's a huge course. It's our biggest one we've ever done. I didn't realize at the time, but I really bit off more than I could chew, picking such a big subject. It should have been like how to draw eagles or how to draw hawks, but no, I said how to draw birds of prey.
Right.
So it's got eagles, it's got hawks, it's got falcons, it's got vultures, it's got owls, it's got all kinds of stuff. So go check that out. That's at creatureartteacher.com, and you can pre-order that. So if you pre-order, you'll get 50% off, and it comes out in a couple of weeks. So we're really excited about that and getting it out to you. And then the last thing I want to mention is, we started doing, we were doing live events up until this past year, and obviously this year we really can't do any live events. And so what we started doing, we started doing this last year as well, was doing live web events where we could, and we started doing it for people that couldn't make it from overseas, to our live events. And now we're just doing live events because COVID. So October 10th, we're doing a live event. There it is. That's it. That's the slide. We're doing a live event on October 10th. We're going to talk about my approach to animal drawing, all the things I think about. I've been drawing animals for the last 45 years, and I've got some methods that I've come up with that really help me. And so some of the things we're going to talk about are anatomy, obviously, comparative anatomy. I'm going to talk about some of my methods that I use when I'm drawing animals from life and they're moving around. What are some of the things I think about? One of the coolest things I think we're going to do is we're going to pull up some of the video footage that Nick Birch and I, well, actually Nick shot the footage while we were in Africa while I drew and photographed. Nick was videotaping the wildlife. And so we're going to be using some of that video, and we're going to draw from that as well. So you guys will have access to that and all of our own exclusive videos. So that's going to be October 10th. Go over to creatureartteacher.com/live right now, and you can get all the information on that. I'm really excited about that. So I'm eating up our time. There's 4 minutes that we just lost.
But
it's time to draw. I know. How dare I?
Good day, sir.
Good. I say good day. So I'm going to sit down and we're going to start doing some drawing. Let's draw. I got to make up a little creature.
And don't forget to ask any questions there, folks.
Oh yeah, and you can ask questions. Let's make up a little creature.
Make up a little creature. Maybe he's perhaps a art teacher.
Art teacher creature?
I think it might be a creature that's also an art teacher.
There we go. Let's flop that. I'm not gonna make this super complex because the big thing I want you to understand on this is how to apply photographic textures. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Yeah.
Nick's got a question for you.
YouTube question. Next year, when the epidemic is gone, would you come to New York Comic Con? No.
That was very firm. No.
No, I definitely. Yeah, Nick and I have actually been talking about doing that.
To the New York Comic Con?
Yeah. We've talked about it. One time in the past, we talked about it.
One time in the past.
There we go. This is a little cute guy. Should I give him pupils or just make his eyes black? So there's pupils right there. Actually, you know what? Let's give him pupils because I got an idea for something.
We're gonna darken the eyes but still have pupils like as though they're shades.
No, it might. I can do that. That's what you're talking about. That sort of thing.
Tinted eyeballs. Have you ever
He looks like the little miners from Galaxy Quest. Miners,
Miners,
not
not
miners. Go ahead. Sorry.
You have a last name.
Do I? Do I?
Have you people ever watched the show? But have you considered collaborating with the Jim Henson Company?
I would love to. I've met a couple of the people from over there. Nice folks over at the Jim Henson Company. There we go.
Oh, great! It's always about you, isn't it? I think that whole scene just makes that movie is what makes it worth it to me.
Oh, a cute little guy.
Till he bites your face off.
Give him a little earring. Nick says, at last year's Lightbox, we were invited to the creature shop, but couldn't make it happen. I know. I remember. We weren't able to do it because we had to. I think it was at CTN actually. We're going to do it this year, but COVID strikes again. Yes.
I don't think it's struck again.
It just struck.
It just struck. COVID struck the very heart of the art industry.
Here's our little guy.
I'm surprised that I don't really have any questions yet.
Come on, people. Ask me some questions. I'll give you some answers.
Come on. Lay a question on me. I could take it. You should use the phrase happy little accidents in your best PBS voice every now and then. Hashtag Bob Ross. Happy little accidents.
Put some little pants on him.
How many spots is the live event going to have?
I think we're opening it up to 300.
300?
Yep. YouTube question. Can he hold something like a stalk of wheat or a blade of grass or a flower? Sure. Now remember, this is really about getting a texture, so I don't want to make this super complex. Not that that's complex. I just want to...
You should wear a tuxedo with a cowboy hat. And high-heeled shoes.
Yes.
While tap dancing.
on a spiral staircase backwards.
Spiral staircase backwards. No, make him an alien centaur going down the stairway backwards. What size do you start with?
This is 18 by 24 inches at 300 DPI. There's his little flower.
18 by 24.
Okay, so we got it sketched. How long did we? That took us 9 minutes.
Took us 2 hours. 2 hours later.
All right. Just got to get this. Now let's tie this down because I really want this to, like I said, I want to save this. Keep it simple.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello. So, in the global concept art scene, the competition is cutthroat. How would you suggest a small-time artist go about getting recognized and perhaps hired in one of these massive companies like Blizzard or Square Enix?
Well, first, I wouldn't use the word cutthroat. I don't think the industry is cutthroat at all, actually. Now, there's a lot of competition. I'm sure that's what you meant. But cutthroat can denote a kind of a, there's a lot of backstabbing. And really there isn't. The best people, all the artists I really deal with are really great that I've ever, by and large over the years. But the thing nowadays is obviously you've got social media that really, a lot of people get their recognition and their, the submitting portfolios and whatnot through social media. And that's where a lot of people are getting recognized. And so I would just make sure you're consistent on that. And look at what's going on. Look at. I get inspired by artists to this day. I go on social media and find the artists that inspire me, and I look at them and see what they have to teach. I'm learning every day, and I'll believe. As soon as you think you're done learning, you're done. But I think I'll be learning until the day I die. I think we all do, if you keep that open mind. And so social media nowadays is really that's the way to do it, and keeping a good up-to-date website. And there we go. Just got to tie this down, tying it down. I want to use some elephant skin textures. That's what I'm going to do. I went to when I went to Africa back in 2011. I shot a whole bunch of photographic reference just for textures, and on that trip to Africa, after that I went to Nepal, so I was photographing Indian elephants as well. I was out on elephant back every day, tracking tigers in Chitwan National Park in Nepal. And so one of the days I went out and I just photographed every single part of the elephant that I could get, and got these really great little photographic elephant texture libraries. And I find that throwing the elephant skin texture on creatures is really cool. Pamela on YouTube asks, is there a way in Photoshop to create a colored texture brush from a photo? Yes. Well, you can do a mixer brush. I don't know if you can do that with a photo, but you can make brushes from photos in general. Yes.
I have another question. What's been getting your creative juices flowing lately? What inspires you these days?
That's a good one. Nature always inspires me. It's not just these days. It just always does. Nature, whenever I get a little stale, I'll go out into the wild and just get inspired.
I've been trying to draw alongside these live videos, but whoo boy, it's a lazy Sunday. That is true. It is a lazy Sunday indeed. Question. In your workflow, do you make a flat color layer and then do your textures based on that layer?
Yes. But I'm going to do all my rendering first. I'm going to get all my light and dark. That's what I'm going to show you. Here's our little guy.
What's the next course going to be about?
I think I'm going to do an animation course. I want to do something with mechanics, and I've had a lot of people talk to me about walks and runs and stuff. People get so hung up on mechanics, and I want to do a course where I talk about getting your personality, getting character and personality into the walks, into literally just walks. And I want to show that, you know, as long as you don't get hung up on, you make the mechanics secondary, and you can focus on the attitude. And so that's what the next course is going to be on. I'm going to take a little break from doing courses. I'm going to jump over to creating Snow Bear next. Because I haven't been on Snow Bear in such a long time. Snow Bear is a animated short, for those of you that don't know, that I've been working on for, it seems like, forever. And I just have to, I keep jumping off of it to go and do other things. And so I want to.
Yeah, how long have you been on and off on that project?
3 years.
3 years. Will Manny do some courses for your website in the future, like sketching on location?
Yes. Matter of fact, he is. He's going to do a course for us on keeping a sketchbook and sketching on location. As a matter of fact, that's pretty cool. That someone guessed that. Was that Manny?
No, it was Martin Berger. What sort of brush size do you use on a canvas like that? My lines always feel really awkward, and I'm starting to wonder now if that I have a real pen pressure. If it's because my pen size is usually small with me, applying harder pressure.
Yeah, I try not to go too small. I like having a little bit of texture in the drawing. So I mean, but it goes back and forth. Right now, because it's such a big canvas, the brush is big, so the brush is at 45 pixels.
What artist inspires you?
There are tons of artists that inspire me. I get inspired every day by artists I've never heard of. But as far as classic artists go, John Singer Sargent's probably one of my favorite. Joaquin Sorolla, another favorite of mine. Contemporary artist Jeremy Lipking is just absolutely stunning. Lots of great artists. Let's do this. So let's do this.
If you did New York Comic Con, would you try to do a James Gurney crossover event or video?
Oh, that'd be fun.
You'll be in his neighborhood.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And James Gurney and I, we indirectly know each other, and I would love to do something with him. We've never met in person. I'm just going to take out the legs. Just bring it down to here. That way we can get, I want to make sure we can get this done. There we go. So there's our rough sketch. So that was, you know, we just designed a little creature here in 15 minutes.
Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bing, bada, bing, bada, bing, boom, boom.
The last stream on Zoom was limited to 100 people watching. Is there a way to watch it back later? Would have loved to have followed it, but wasn't able to join in, unfortunately.
That I don't know, because that one wasn't ours, so I'm not sure. What color should I make them? What color? YouTube comment, learning starts with the first breath and should end with the last. Hey, good call.
Pink.
Make them pink?
Pink.
Or purpley pink?
Pink.
So you're saying pink.
Pink.
So pink?
Hot pink. Hey, Detlef.
Detlef!
He says, guys, that drawing play together was fantastic. I'm going to connect to Expedition Art to see if we can team up to support charity somehow.
Yeah, that would be great, Detlef. That would be awesome. Oh, we're making them cute and little pink.
Yeah, some people already put in other colors. One says blue. Someone else 3 times said pink, just like me. Another blue, purple.
I'll tell you what. I'll mix all
well.
that. I'll mix those colors in.
Baby orc green.
Baby orc. YouTube
Here it is.
question: do you have any inspirational words for an artist who ain't making the drawing they would hope to make? I.e., they draw something and fail at the end product. If you're not failing, you're not learning. So as long as you're getting that paper or the stylus or the screen dirty, then you're going to learn. It just takes time. You know, when I was younger, I very often created more bad works than I did good. But over time, you figure out your workflow. Man, I just spit all over my screen. You figure out, yeah. And you figure out your workflow, and you get more confident, and your knowledge grows, and all of that stuff. And you just get better and better. And there's no secret. The secret is time and being patient, and hard work. That's the formula. Hard work is the formula. And don't get frustrated. Don't give up. Question: do you think COVID will impact the future of the concept art film industry? Well, it already has. It already has. So that's a big yes. I think it's going to impact in other ways too. I think we're going to see a lot more working from home. I think film companies, especially in the animation industry, are discovering that they can do more from home. A lot of the animation studios really weren't impacted that much once they got set up at home and were able to keep going. I know guys that, editors and animators and riggers and all kinds of stuff and modelers that they're just doing their own thing. I mean, a lot of us digital artists already have our home stations, right? I mean, I've got mine, and so I think we're going to see studios saving money possibly in the future by saying, hey, let's make a movie and everyone can stay home, and we will save money on overhead by not having an actual brick and mortar studio. I think might not be for huge projects, but I bet you might see something like that. Speaking of which, real quick, I'm really excited. I just saw that Wolf Walkers from Cartoon Saloon, my friend Tom Moore, who's directed, is premiered, and it's coming out on Apple TV in the next several weeks. Look at that guy. Ooh. So that's kind of cool.
It's funny, on this screen it looks more like light purple, but on my screen it looks more pink.
Yeah. I'm going to give him some purple eyeshadow. He or she. I guess it's a she. Nick says, pretty sure the stream with Manny will be up on Expedition Art YouTube channel later when we'll link to it. So there you go. For the person that wasn't able to be there. That's because Nick took your spot.
Dang it, Nick.
No, actually, Nick didn't take any spots. He's considered a panelist. So right now, what am I doing? I'm doing local color. I'm just doing local color. Local color is the color of an object when it's not lit and it's not in shadow. It's just the color. Like a red apple or a green shirt. And so, I do this first, and then we start adding shadow and light, and then we can add textures after that. We'll have some fun with that.
Have you ever painted an animal or a character in one type of media and afterwards decided it would look better in a different media and repainted it again?
Yeah, I have actually. Oh, Achilles came in to say hi. My dog Achilles came in to say hi.
Well, like, I'm going to take a nap. I'm just going to nap over here.
Yes, his name is Achilles, as in Achilles heel.
Achilles.
I like getting lots of color on these. Got a fun little pattern brush I'm going to try. Let's get some bright pink though first. There we go. Get some nice fleshy color there. Wow, that was fast. The Expedition Art stream is up on their channel now. You just put a link in the comments. That's cool.
Holy cannoli.
Holy smokes! There's our little guy. Oh, cute. Give him little kid proportions. Little baby proportions.
That's adorable. Looks like I'm all out of questions.
That's all right. I'll just keep on drawing. So I'm still doing laying in local color and just wanting to get in some variation of the local color. There. So far so good. Let's do this. I'm going to grab some more blue. I want to try. I've got this brush down here I want to try. Got this brush. There it is. Put some markings on them. I made this brush a while back. Let's see here. Let's make a clipping mask. I just created a clipping mask over the top. There, get some little patterns on them. There we go. Maybe down the arms. There, like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. All right, so let's create another clipping mask. I'm going to put that over the one we just did. Actually, this one I'll just combine. I'll merge that.
What do you think about freelancing? Oops. Is it hard to start freelancing after graduation for beginners?
Oh, that's locked. Hold on. Say that one more time.
What are your thoughts about freelancing? Do you think it's hard to start freelancing after just after graduation for beginners?
No. I mean, it's hard. You got to get your name out there, and so that's going to be tough. But yeah, you gotta just be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Consistency is what is going to get you get the work, and quality of work, obviously. So here I'm going to start creating some shadow.
Could you please explain a clipping mask?
Yeah, so a clipping mask is basically that I just created over the top of this, over the painting. I'm setting it up over the painting layer, and it allows me only to paint in the area that the painting layer is in. So I can't paint outside that, but it's on a different layer. So it's clipping everything else out and only allowing me to paint where the color is. So you can see what I'm able to do is I don't have to worry about if I'm going to go over the lines or not. So what I've done here is I've created a new layer, a clipping mask, and I've set the blend mode right here to multiply. And so now I'm creating a shadow. I'm creating the shadows. I'm trying really hard to get to the texture part, the photographic texture part, because that's what the class is all about, right? And so,
Right.
but all of this leads up to that. We have to do all this other stuff in order for those textures that we're going to bring in order for them to work, we have to do all this other stuff. Now there's a million different ways to do any number of things in Photoshop. This is my approach. You'll find someone that'll have a different approach. Someone will see the way I'm doing it and go, "What? Why did you do it that way?" And but this is, that's one of the beauties of Photoshop is that ability to do any one thing 100 different ways.
Any updates on your health and fitness program?
I'm losing weight.
There you go.
Still losing weight. And so far so good.
Gabby just hopped on and is wondering, is this live?
Is this real life? Yes.
Is this real live?
This is live, Gabby.
She also says, hi all.
Hello.
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 So Wednesday is coming up.
Wednesday.
Yes. Do you know what happens on Wednesday, Dustin?
You get a new car?
Well, you get a new birthday.
Yay.
Dustin, my youngest child, my son Dustin, is turning 30.
Freaking
30 years old on Wednesday. How did that happen?
I have no idea.
How did I get so old?
Too much pizza?
I guess. YouTube question. Do you think an aspiring visual development artist needs to attend art school to have the required skills for working in the industry? No, I don't. There's so much information that you can find online, especially for visual development. I know a lot of visual development artists that never went to art school. Animation's a different thing. Animation's a little harder, but I think even animation you can get away with not going to art school anymore. And when you look at art school for the cost of it, when you're talking about $40,000 to $50,000 a year for 4 years, now you're talking $150,000 to $200,000 in debt before you even get out of college. I just find it obscene, and I don't know how colleges think that this is. I don't get it. Colleges anymore. It's just my thinking, and because there is a lot of great information out there. But speaking of colleges, if you do feel you need to go, I'm not against them. I just don't think the cost is right. Now I do think there's colleges out there that are worth the money, but they're you got to search for them. But speaking of which, because of those high costs, one of the goals that Nick and I had when we started this website 5 years ago was we wanted to help students get to college if they so chose. I mean, there's a lot of students out there that can't afford it, and so each month now, starting this month, we are giving away a $5,000 scholarship to one lucky student every month to help offset educational costs. So, and that's good for online schooling as well. It doesn't have to be, strict college. We're doing it for online schooling as well. So if you want to go to Proco, go to Schoolism, get training from there, but you don't have the money, we can help you out. And so if you go on over to creatureartteacher.com/scholarship, right?
Scholarship.
Yeah. Then there's that's where we got the information. Feel very strongly about it. something that I've been wanting to do. I couldn't have gone to college myself if I didn't have a scholarship. And there's a lot of great people that came out of the woodwork to help me with my financial aid and help me get through it, because I just couldn't do it. My family couldn't afford it. And so I've always wanted to give back. So that's what we're doing. I know I went off on a tangent on that question, but I think you can do it without having to go to college for sure. Question: any advice for artists who are still not financially sustainable from art after a decade of trying? By taking a normal job, one spends less time on art but needs money to survive. Yeah, I know that. I know exactly what you're saying, and the only thing I can say is just to persevere, keep pushing it, keep going. I know it's easy to say, but it's there's really no other choice, right?
Do you ever paint in grayscale and values, then apply color and texture that way?
I've done it once or twice. That's not my normal way of painting. So no, I don't normally do that, but I have done it, yes.
Erica Bay says hello.
Hello, Erica Bay. Say hi to Frankie for me. Our cute little guy.
Have you ever met an artist where you've been lost for words, nervous, or thankful with them for their impact in your career?
Kim Jong-ji. I always geek out when I meet Kim Jong-ji. Kim Jong-ji. Robert Bateman, who was a wildlife artist that I've been a fan of since I was a little kid. Kim Jong-ji, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. What was it? My first or second trip to CTN. Kim Jong-ji was there, and we were all over at the outside bar, and we're walking past, and you look over and you just go, "Oh my God, that's Kim Jong-ji! Don't look, that's Kim Jong-ji."
All right, let's add some light, shall we?
And for the folks who just hopped on, what size of canvas are you using currently?
The canvas is 18 by 24 inches at 300 DPI. So right now I've just created another clipping mask, and I've set it to overlay. So now I'm hitting my light areas, creating light. We've been at this for only 40 minutes now, 30 minutes. 30 minutes and 35, and you can see how far we've gotten already. I want you to see that if you do the same process over and over, if you keep your process the same, then you'll be able to get a lot of work done. That's one secret to getting lots of stuff done. And so when I approach my character renderings and character designs, I do it the same way each time.
Do you have any advice on pricing digital art? I've got some requests from friends to do pet portraits, but I've not sold anything like this ever, and would love a thought on this.
Well, it's really about your time, right? Because you don't have anything really physical. It's not like you've done an oil painting or a watercolor, so it does get tricky to charge. So I really think about it as my time, and you just got to decide what are you happy with as far as what's your time worth to you.
And Erica's asking, how has your weekend been?
Weekend has been awesome. Been really nice. We went over to my daughter's house last night, Dustin and I and Vedanta, and we played drinking Jenga.
That was interesting.
It was kind of fun.
Harry says, Biddy baby watching with me right now. We got a late start and are just now making breakfast.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that is a late start.
Very late start.
That's what it's 2:10. It's 2:10, Gabby. The Gabster.
That ain't a breakfast. That's a lunch.
All right, I'm going to do one more layer of light. I'm doing it right over the layer I just put in. So I want to get some nice shine off of this character.
I think he's talking about the scholarship, but is it just for students? What about an aspiring concept artist who is in debt and stuck teaching?
Well, if you need money for education, that's what it's for. It's not just for, it's for anybody that needs money for education. So if you're taking online courses, then yeah, put together a portfolio, submit it, and we'll look at it, and we pick. We're going to take about 200 a month, and submissions. We will pick one every month. If you've already submitted once, don't worry about having to submit again if you don't get picked, because we've got your portfolio and it's going to stay in the running. There we go. So you can see how quickly already we've got this little guy going.
Oh, which brush did you use to color the skin?
Oh, my pastel number 7 brush in my original custom brush pack on my website. Pastel C brush, I should say.
In the future, could you do a class on hard surfaces
Oh,
like?
Andrew Theophilopoulos is here.
Huh?
Andrew Theophilopoulos is here. Remember Andrew from Digital Domain? He goes, oh, that's Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Well, he obviously remembers you.
I'm trying to remember that last name.
Andrew Theophilopoulos? Come on, can't you say Andrew Theophilopoulos?
No. Sorry, Andrew.
No, remember he interned. He trained under me, well, I didn't have anything to teach him. The guy's amazing. He's amazing.
God, it was so long ago. Like, I don't really remember.
You don't remember Andrew Theophilopoulos?
You're making me sound like a jerk right now.
Hey, everybody! If you don't know Andrew Theophilopoulos' work, then you got to look it up. It's Andrew Theophilopoulos. I like a friend. I have a friend named Paitoon.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Paitoon Ratanasarintrawut. How long do you think it took me to learn that?
Probably a few years.
Paitoon Ratanasarintrawut. Is an awesome guy. He was an effects animator at Disney.
Could you do a class on hard surfaces like mechs and other combat vehicles and things like that?
I could try. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. But we can definitely give it a shot. Look at that. So we'll take the drawing away. That's what we're left. So you can see we got some rendering to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to knock that back a little bit.
Gabby's got a point here. She says, guys, is there really any bad time for waffles? I mean, really.
No, there's not.
That is true. She's got a point.
She does.
And then enjoy your delicious brunch.
Andrew says, bull, I learned so much from you. Oh, you're too kind.
And
I
speaking
learned a
of
lot
brush,
from you.
speaking of brushes, what kind of brush do you mostly use for sketching? I'm transitioning from traditional to digital and haven't really found one I like yet.
I have a brush that I made in my custom brush set. I call it the Pastel C brush, but it's really cool. That's what I did the sketch of this with. So I'm doing a little bit of reflected light right now. On this little character.
Have you made any new brushes to buy lately?
No, I haven't made any new brushes lately. Not in a while.
Although there will be some brushes available in the Birds of Prey, right?
Yes,
some
but
of the
that's
feathers
part of the.
in
That's just part, like feather brushes that are
Yeah.
part of the course. Is that rain again?
Sounds like it.
Here comes the rain again.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
There we go.
Oh yeah, we got a nice little patch rolling in. See?
Oh yeah, got it. Yay.
Kitty. Kitty.
Okay, once again, getting some reflected light. There's light bouncing off that shoulder and up into the cheek here. YouTube comment: I regret not doing foundations first for college. People definitely should if they still want to continue further education. I agree.
When are you going to work on Snow Bear?
Well, you see, it's like this, Pally.
Lazy.
Soon.
Hey there, Pally.
Hey, Pally. So I made this soft little brush a while back. It's come in really handy. I like it. I like it. Hey.
You should put your little cute creature in rain.
Is that you saying that, or
No, that's somebody else.
put it in the rain?
Yeah, you should. Yep. The rain could fall off his flower. Rain drops are falling on my head.
Nice. Nice. So I'm just quickly trying to go through here and just get this laid in because I want to show you the textures. How to do the textures.
Why is it that when I follow the same process as you, my art still looks crap and not where I want it to be or should be by now?
Well, I probably got a lot more experience. Don't knock yourself. Just keep doing it.
You just got to keep doing it. Come on,
Come
go.
on, go.
You got to keep drawing. Got to keep drawing like a boss.
So I don't want to get too far down the road here. We're going to get it. I think we're getting just enough highlights in here. Now it's going to be time to start adding some texture because once we get the texture in, then we got to go back over it again. So I've got something that's kind of working a little bit. Okay, so let's do this. So I've got this now. Actually, I'm going to throw a background in there. It's what's the opposite? Let's just go with like a green, a toned down, darker green. Tone that down, and let me grab a nice big brush here. Whoops. YouTube question: would your creating with Procreate course be good for those new to digital art, or do you recommend I start with another course? No, I think it'd be great as long as you have an iPad and Procreate. Then I think it'd be awesome for you. Don't worry, I'll get to the flower later. I want to make sure we have time to get the our little guy here, our little creature.
You have 5 tips for an inspiring artist?
Aspiring artist, what?
5 tips.
5 tips?
Yeah, 5.
Duck, dodge.
Dodge, duck. What is it? Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Persistence is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Persistence don't look at don't pay attention to other people's work. I see so many people comparing themselves to other people and getting down on themselves if they're not doing as well or selling as well or whatever it might be. You're gonna just make yourself more depressed. Pay attention to yourself. Compete against yourself. Be inspired. Don't be jealous of other artists. That's the other thing. I used to see other people get so jealous of other artists rather than being inspired by them. Art should be fun. It should feed the soul. Let it do that. So we've got these. So these are some textures that I've got that I want to use on this kid today. This little creature. These are elephant photos that I took. I'm just going to run through these really quick so you can see, and they're really, really cool. And you use this to photo bash textures into your characters. So I just think the elephant textures would be perfect for this little guy. And you can see I've just got piles of them. These, by the way, are actually available on our website at creatureartteacher.com. You can download. I've got 20 textures for the Asian elephant and 20 textures for African elephant. So these are all Asian elephant textures that I'm showing you. Actually, I think I've got more than that. More than 20. Could be wrong. And these are all African elephant, young African elephants. And you can see African elephants are much rougher. Although that's a cool texture right there. You might have to use that on his little belly. What do you think, Dustin? What do you think, Pally?
Sounds about right.
You weren't even listening.
No, I wasn't.
Were you sleeping?
No, I'm looking at comments.
At comics? You're looking at comics?
Yes, I'm looking at comic book. I'm reading Superman.
So look at this. So this is what I want to show you. So I'm just going to take this for example. Let's go to his little belly. So right on the right above the local color layer, I'm going to create a new layer. Oh, I don't want it to be a clipping mask though. Shoot, what do I do? Let's keep it a clipping mask. Let's just keep it a clipping mask anyway. And I want to take this little section, let's say here. We'll do it right here. So I'm just going to take a big chunk right here. And we're going to take it, we're going to drag it over here. So now it's on top of this. Actually, I'm just going to put it right on top of everything. That's how we're going to do it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so how's that look? How's that texture look?
Looks good.
Good. It's not doing what we want it to do yet, though. So we're going to knock back the opacity so we can see through it a little bit. I also want to, I want to change the hue. I want that hue to be more like what we have in here. Let's go over here. There we go. There we go, Pally. All right. So let's bring this up. I'm going to knock this way back. I'm going to knock it down to about 30%, 33%. I'm going to come up to image. I'm going to go to adjustments. I'm going to go to exposure. And I'm going to push the gamma so you'll see it gets darker, but the contrast is also getting pushed. And I'll push the exposure, and it's starting to get a little blown out. So I'm going to pull back, just like so. And go, okay. Okay. So we got this texture happening. So now I'm going to go edit, free transform. I want to shrink it down. So I want to go on this little belly. I'm not sure if this is going to be the right texture or not, but let's try it anyway. Now, just real quick. So other people ask me too. They say, why don't you use like multiply blend mode or some of the other blend modes? And sometimes you can. I find that universally, the way I'm doing it now, keeping this blend mode normal, it for me works the best. So I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to go to edit, transform, and warp. And now I can kind of warp it to kind of fit the body. So it starts to feel a little more round. Go ahead, Dustin, sorry.
No worries. Can Dustin draw and animate too? I think I already answered this yesterday, but I used to draw growing up all the way up through high school, but kind of slowed down after that. Nowadays, I just do photography, mostly.
So now I'm going to grab my soft edge brush, soft and round. YouTube question, I often find it difficult to paint with cool lights using warm shadows, but I can't seem to match and blend it in nicely when painting skin, especially. Any advice to combat that? Yeah, it really is, for me, I just look at the light, the color and temperature of the light that I'm trying to create. So if it's cool, then it's cool. I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than that. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get this looking right. And what I'm doing is I'm fading out some of these rough textures, some of the edges on the photograph, so we get something that starts to look like this. But find it difficult to paint with cool lights using warm shadows. Well, that's difficult because it's kind of different than the way it really works in nature. And usually the lights are warm and the shadows are cool. So that's, you're fighting that. But it's not impossible. So mainly having trouble with that because it's different than what's in nature, like I said. Sorry, I'm having trouble thinking and talking at the same time.
I cannot think.
Yeah, I'm just cleaning this up a little bit.
And I'm all like the questions all over here.
So let's check this out. This is going to be cool. Let's do the. I want to show you something really neat here. Let's go back to our elefante. I want to go back to the Asian elephant. Well, there's this. I'm going to open this one up. I always like using this texture. So let's do that. What did I just do? I just dropped it in. Oh, doggone it. Come on. Oops, not that. That's not what I want. Right here. Slow down, Aaron. Slow down, Pally. All right. I think I just got rid of my Premiere.
You what?
My Premiere just came off the dock. All right. So I got that. I've got a nice eye here. Got some more eyes too. I want to grab some of the wrinkles around the eyes. I think we can get some really cool stuff there. That one was a little out of focus. That's a nice one there. I love that texture. Look at that. Great texture in here. Look at that tail. I love these spots too. We might do something with that. There's some more. Lots of good texture here. So I'm just going through all of these just so I can show you guys some of the textures I use. And this is just for elephant skin. There's all kinds of stuff. If you get in the habit of photographing different textures from everywhere, you can come up with some really cool stuff.
Man, it is pouring out there.
Yeah, I know. That's a good one. I'm going to open this one up. And then one more I'm going to open real quick because we're going to do the eyes right now. Let's go to here and I'm going to go back up to the top. And we're going to open this guy. Right there. Okay, so I've got a few images open that I want to open. This one here. Let's start with this. I'm going to flop it. This is where it gets kind of fun. Let's take this section. Just see what we get out of it. Let's just take that. We'll move it up here. I'm going to put this right up on top. There we go. We're going to go adjustments, hue and saturation. I want to change that hue. There's our little purpley color. Right there. Okay. We're going to knock this back. Some you can use more opaque than others.
Debbie says it's raining. Oh God, please give California some of your rain.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone else says, send that rain here. I'm right next to 30,000 acres of wildfire. Well, best of luck to you. Be safe out there.
Yeah. Okay, warp. Here we go. So I'm pulling in some of these textures. So you can see I'm actually changing what I rendered on the above the eye. When you get in there and start playing with these textures, you might find that you want to do that. I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll just use an eye. You can try that too. It's kind of cool. So now I'll go in and I need the soft eraser. Soft round. I'm just going to lose these edges. There, see? There, see?
Here we go, hey.
Let's make it a little more opaque. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Don't it?
Yes,
Don't it now?
Yes.
So let's go over here. There we go. I'm going to grab this little section right here. Right there. We're going to bring it down here. So once again, let's get up here and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and we're going to adjust that the hue to be more violet. To be more violent. What?
Violent.
Knocking that back.
Come on, give me
YouTube
some
comment.
questions
The
here.
fact that he doesn't have any nostrils bothers me a lot. Well, he breathes through his skin, really.
What is he, an insect?
I'm sorry that bothers you. What is he? An insect? Ali.
Pally. Is that an insect though, Pally?
Alright, I'm going to try it in two different directions here. So let's try this. Edit. Warp. So we're going to pull this up and around.
Yeah, Facebook is awfully quiet.
Awfully quiet today, huh? So I'm warping it to fit that front snout there. There we go. I'm going to knock it back so we have more of the painting showing through. And so now, once again, I'm going to grab my eraser here. Just going to erase this back. This time I'm going to come all the way up here, and we basically just create these textures and lay them on like a mosaic. I want it to be a little smoother around down by the mouth. We're getting these get this nice little thing happening, and I'm going to come up to Image, Adjustments, Exposure, and just push this a little bit. And you'll see I can emphasize that texture just a touch by playing with the gamma correction and the exposure.
He says, we're enjoying watching you work.
Well, that's good.
That's good. Will you go back and watch any of the other Lightbox artist sessions you missed? What's one you might want to catch up on?
Oh, shoot, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them.
Manny?
Yeah. I'd like to see Armand Serrano's. Let's do this.
Is there anybody else in the Lightbox that was part of the expedition crew that I was part of in Montana? Was it Bobby? No.
Peter?
Peter.
Hahn? Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
is he on the Lightbox?
Yeah.
Cool.
So there we go. We're going to get that there. I'm going to knock this back a little bit. I'm going to try to do the other eye. I'm not sure it's going to match up perfectly.
What is the current 5-year plan, if any, for CreatureArtTeacher.com?
To continue, we just want to continue making courses. That's really our plan. That's our business model, and we want to keep making them. So here, I want this to kind of match up with what we've got over there. So, just gonna pull some of this over here. Pull that in there. See what you can do with the warp tool, or with the with the warp transform tool. It's really cool because I want this to match up with what's over there. There we go. I think that's kind of close. And now I'll come in here. And just come in and clean up around the eyes. There we go. Boy, that's coming down out there.
Oh yeah.
It's raining.
Raining cats and dogs out there.
Violet YouTube comment. Violets is never the answer. I don't know what that means. Hey, let's do the under eye.
Could this method work with fur as well?
Absolutely. Yep, I've done it with fur. If you I've got an image that I did of Rajah, meant to have photographic textures on it, and that worked really well. Rajah from Aladdin.
Do you always add textures to the topmost layer?
Yes,
rather
I
than-
usually do.
Yeah, you do that rather than under painting.
Sometimes I
color
put it the other way, but usually I do it that way.
Just depends on the situation.
Yep. So here we go. All of a sudden our little creature's going to get old, isn't it? Let's go to image, adjustments, hue and saturation, and we'll go over here and just get a nice color here. We're going to knock this back in opacity so it's not quite as strong. And there you go, edit, free transform. Edit, warp speed. There we go. I want it to hug that eye right there. You can squish it, see?
create a new layer for every texture you drop in, or do you have?
Yeah, and then
one
after a
texture
while
layer?
I'll start. No, it's a new layer for every texture, and then I go in and I'll combine layers. So here I'm going to clean this up now. Lose some of these edges.
So we wrote that rain sounds amazing.
it's a rockin'.
It's hitting hard. What are getting the plankton?
So we're just
Like
getting
there's
some
no
nice
tomorrow.
texture right there, you see? Twitch question. I try to use my own photos for photo bashing and textures as much as possible, but sometimes I find better sources on search engines. Is that considered theft or cheating? It's not a great habit to be in. I think anytime you can use your own, you should. But no, I think it's okay to grab a texture or two from here or there.
I smell food.
Yeah, they're cooking chicken and broccoli. So this is slightly out of focus right here where the eye is, but I'm going to use it anyway because I'm going to push this. I'm going to play with the depth of field on this image later, and we're going to use that. So I'm grabbing this right here. I'm going to drag it over here. There we go. I'm going to put it right here. It's going to be a little big. Let's go to image adjustments, hue and saturation.
Hue and saturation.
There we go. Knock this back in opacity a little bit. Edit. Free transform. Edit. Warp. Warp speed. I'm going to bring this all up, squish it all together. Squishing it together is going to help it sharpen up a little bit too.
Where are you guys?
We are in Central Florida.
Do you think you might start incorporating old animation samples from Disney and Warner into your videos, since the copyrights are soon expiring on the earliest work?
If they expire, then yeah.
Then heck yeah, brother. Brother. Get ready to paint some old classic Mickey Mouse here, brother.
There we go. Look at there. So we're getting some nice textures on there. How's our time? 5:44. So we've been at this for 1 hour and 15. Let's do this. Let's go back to this image.
Eric Nieto says, just wanted to let you know that I became an elementary and middle school art teacher. And the first video I showed my students was the crayon and coffee bear you did a while ago.
That's awesome.
I wanted to show them that you can create art with any materials you have. Thank you for everything you do for the art community.
Thank you. That's pretty cool.
He says, honestly, I can't wait till the next workshop with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty darn fun. Actually, let's look at some other textures here. I want to look at some other textures for this forehead. I don't know if I want to do the wrinkles. I think the wrinkles are going to be too much. So I want to go, let's go in here. This is the fun of, when you have a nice texture library, it's fun to go through and say, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's fun to just go through and see what works, what doesn't work. That's all kind of cool.
Oh, I got a question for the both of us.
Yes.
I have 3 amazing sons at young ages. I've heard you speak about your children's artistic talents quite often. How did you influence their artistic abilities?
I told them if they didn't draw, they were grounded.
No, it's more like if you don't draw this perfectly. We're going to tie you to the radiator.
Right. No, I mean,
it just happened on its own.
Yeah, we just have it on its own. The house is always full of art. You know, their mother, my wife, was an artist, and she was always creating. I was always drawing, and so it was just part of our life.
Yeah, and I always watched Dad draw, and at a young age, I started trying to draw as well, and eventually I got into like little Warhammer 40K figurines and started, and that was my first form of painting something, and Dad helped me out a little bit with that, and yeah, just as time went on, we were just Asa and I were just trying different forms of art, and Mom and Dad were very supportive about it.
Yeah.
And it's gone to the point now where now I'm doing photography, and Dad and I are always talking about our photography stories now. And
Oops.
it's basically we have our own artistic differences, and yet that's the most common thing that we have.
Yeah.
I think.
Where'd it go? Did it open? Did I just lose it? Oh, I got it. Hello? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Gabby asks, when you guys start doing the workshops again, will you increase the size of the classes to accommodate all the new fans as well as old ones?
Probably not.
Don't want to get too big of a crowd.
Yeah.
We want to keep it small and simple.
Yeah.
As small and simple as possible, Sam.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Pelly.
There we go, Pally.
So, what else we got?
Got
Don't you lose some of the contrast and detail of the painting underneath by doing the textures this way instead of using multiply? You do, but when you multiply, you also, it darkens, so it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Because what I do is I roughly establish the light and dark like I've done, but then I go in, and let me do this. Let me do it this way instead. Then I paint over the top. We're still going to do that. I just want to add a few more textures. Let me go to elephant texture.
Elephant.
Oh, skin. Elephant skin. There we go. Come on, show up.
Show yourself.
It's loading. Well, this is taking a while. Here we go. There's my elephant skin textures. And Asian. There we go. There we go. Let's click through these real quick. Oh, that's the one I'm looking for right there. Open. All right. I already had it open. What an idiot. That's why I got so confused. Select, deselect, and all right, so here we go. So I'm going to grab this little chunk right in here. I like this texture in the skin. I'm going to bring it over here.
Did you save yet?
Not yet. Nick is saying, and I agree with Nick, we'd really love to do another multi-day event like we did in Orlando last summer. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually had it open to a lot of people, several hundred people, but it was more of a lecture demo type situation, like an expo kind of thing.
Yeah, it was more expo than like a out in the field workshop like we did in Sarasota or in Chester.
So you can adjust that, and now I'm going to knock back the opacity quite a bit on here. And I'm going to watch this. I'm hoping you can see these textures. Edit, free transform. I'll blow this up big.
What do you think of the late Bob Ross, his work and teaching techniques?
I loved him. Bob Ross was the most pleasant man, pleasant artist. I thought he was awesome. So you can see we got this really cool texture right there. See that? So one thing I want to do is I'm going to go and edit and warp. I'm just going to put it right over the whole head. I just think this is a texture we can use everywhere. I'm just going to wrap it right onto the head.
Did you ever read the Alfred Hitchcock Three Investigators mystery books as a kid?
No.
The illustrations and covers from the 60s were so incredible.
Yeah, they were really cool. So I'm just pulling this around. Alright, now let's go up here and go to Image Adjustments, Exposure. I really want to contrast a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now this is something, you know, when you can get a nice texture like this, see that? When you can get a nice texture like that, that's something that's really useful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, just clean out the areas where I don't want that texture. Like the eyes. And I'm going to clean out around the... I'm going to let it fade on to some of these...
Do you have textures available to buy from your site?
Yes, all these elephant textures I have available on the site.
Do you have any other textures available? Like any other examples?
No,
Or just
not
the
right
elephant?
now. But the elephant textures. Oh, do we have fur? I don't
We do
think
have fur.
Can't remember if we have fur textures.
Yeah, almost sure we do. I mean,
But we definitely have the elephant textures. That one's a big seller. That one we move a lot of those.
I am checking the site.
I'm just going to clean it up in little areas here.
Brush and texture sets. Yeah, we have fur textures. We have foliage.
Plus, I have full fur brushes.
Yeah, hair and fur brushes. Fur texture sets. Elephant textures.
Yep. So
Lion
there-
and leopard eye textures.
Yeah, those are like stamp textures. I'm going to lose this one. I don't like that one anymore. I like this texture that we just used. That feels really good. So now what we can do is I'm going to go in. I'm just going to focus on the head because I want to be able to finish this in time. Andrew Theophilopoulos says, by the way, I still use this texturing process. Just like you said, I keep it on normal layer mode. You also told me to desaturate the source so it doesn't alter the colors. Exactly. This one I figured that it was so vibrant that leaving the color in there was fine. So let's flop it real quick. Right here we go. Just see how it looks flopped. That's not so bad. It's a little off center, but it's not too bad. We'll keep it like that. So let's finish up these eyes. I want to get in here. So one thing we can do now is I'm going to put all these textures.
Justin, have you ever
together.
been in such awe of a moment in nature you decided not to see it through a lens? I had one or two moments where I was in Lake Woodruff and I would be out there with my camera with my big lens where I'm trying to shoot things from afar, but there are a few moments where a sandhill crane and her little chick would be walking by and they would end up getting too close for me to shoot. So I just put my camera down and I would just kneel and I would just wait for them to pass. But they would pass by me by like 2-3 feet in front of me. And it just always astounded me on how casual they are.
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it?
And I just love that moment of just being that close to them without them being stressed or anything. It really makes you feel like you're with them in a way.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Procreate over Photoshop, or is it just what works best for you?
it's just what works best for me. I like Photoshop. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Photoshop is king.
For me, yes. So here, I'm just going in and I want to finish out these eyes. So I'm going in with solid color.
Absolutely. Gabby says, the wildlife in Florida blew me away. For sure want to visit again.
Good.
Well, you definitely should eventually. Whether or not we're doing a workshop.
Let's do it like this. There we go. So here, we put a layer over the top of that. We're going to set that to multiply. Come up here. Go on the pressure sensitivity. And go to this brush. I'm just putting that eyelid shadow right over the eye here.
This could be a mascot for Bubble Yum.
Yeah. There we go. And then we'll come in here and let's grab some of this blue. And I'm going to go a little brighter. And we'll go back here. And just hit that bottom part of the iris.
That's why I can kind of picture, just to throw people off, like a Danny DeVito voice out of him.
Yeah.
Mixing it with that bubble gum idea. His kids are like, oh, he's so cute.
Hey, have you kids seen my bubble gum?
Alright, so here, I'm going to put a little reflection coming over the eye. A little reflection here.
And Gabby's asking, how's Grandpa Marshall? Haven't written any letters lately because I've been busy.
He's good. The old man is good. There we go. And then we'll get a nice hot highlight right there. Right there. Let's catch a couple textures or a couple highlights on the wetness of the eye here. I'm going to go up on top. See, now what you do is you come in and you start using that texture to your advantage. You start using it as part of the painting.
Has difficult times personally or professionally in your life influenced your art in positive or negative ways?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it to where I just didn't want to do art for a long time. When Dustin's mother, my wife Karen, when she passed away 13 years ago, I went through a bad time of just not wanting to create. But then it became very therapeutic for me to create. So here, I'm just hitting some of these little textures right here. You can emphasize these. Yeah, I'm just using this little brush. Let me blow it up for you so you can see a little better.
Are there any warm or cool colors you don't like to use as much?
No, it's just whatever the painting dictates. You know, color is color. The painting is going to dictate what you use. YouTube comment, wow, it's 5 a.m. here, time to sleep. I think I'll watch again later. It's always pleasure drawing while watching you live. Thank you, stay healthy. 5 a.m., so you must be in somewhere in India? Eastern India? Or maybe, no, maybe even further than that. Australia? Are you in Australia? Or Malaysia? You might be in Malaysia.
We over there?
There we go. So you can see I'm just kind of adding little highlights here to blend those textures in with the painting. Actually, we'll do this. I'm going to grab a nice light, really light green. And it's going to be a reflected light that we're going to be, from the green that's in the background, there's going to be like a light off screen. I'm going to use this.
Over at Essex, it's 11 at night over there.
Yeah, so this they said it was 5 a.m., so it's much further east than that.
Oh, Gabby's got to go. She's got to get ready for work. See you guys later.
See you, Gabster.
See you, Gabby. Thanks for stopping by.
So here I'm adding a secondary like greenish light to this, just experimenting, just having fun, you know. Like a little green rim lighting, secondary light. Aaron, what would you say is one of the most important things in a story-driven visual development portfolio? Consistency and a theme. You know, if you're working on a picture and you have several images in there, and it's all story-driven, then you want to see some kind of thematic. You want to make sure that everything feels like it belongs in the same picture. That consistency.
What is your favorite U.S. state to view nature and wildlife other than? Yep, I agree.
It's been a long time since I've been to Alaska. I miss it so much.
I've always wanted to go.
So you can see I'm creating this rim lighting on this little guy, and it just gives it this extra little oomph, this little extra little drama, dimension.
Now,
We're not going to be able to get this whole thing done in time, but you'll get a sense of, I want you to kind of see the whole process from, you know, bringing the textures in, getting them to sit on the painting, and then painting over the textures, which is what we're doing now. And this is a technique that I picked up, you know, when I was at Disney. Some of it I figured out, other parts of it I learned from other people. And it really helped when I was doing character renderings and talking to modelers and trying to get stuff through that way.
Now, where would this funny creature live? That's a good question.
Good question, Pally.
That's a good question, Pally.
There we go. Make sure I'm not overdoing it.
I would say because he doesn't have any fur, I would say somewhere warm and tropical.
Yeah. Just getting that reflected light there. That bounced light. 5 a.m. in Novosibirsk, Russia. Ah,
Russia. These sessions have been so great. I am a Florida art teacher who is homeschooling with my kids this year due to COVID. And this conference has been such a blessing. Your lessons are our favorite. I'm getting so inspired to be working on my own personal art again, too. Thank you so much.
you are welcome. That makes me happy to hear. There. We'll just do a little bit there.
I have watched this channel since 2013 when the first Aaron Blaise leopard went up on YouTube. Was it always the plan to be so interactive with potential students and viewers?
Yes.
Or was it suggested to you by a friend or fellow professional?
No, it was always the plan. We just knew it was going to take time. I didn't know what I was doing back then, so we just kind of made it up as we went and got advice and from and learned. But I really have always wanted to be able to interact. There, so we're getting some texture in here, brightening up and making some of these some of this rim lighting a little hotter.
I think during like the early days of the live streaming, like I helped out getting it all up and running, and when we started streaming, at first it was just you and the screen just talking, and I was just looking at the Facebook just to check to see if the quality was good.
Yep.
And then one day I just randomly just started asking the questions from the chat, and it stuck.
It did. Aaron, what would you say is one of the most important things in the... Oh, I already read that one. Hope I didn't miss anything, Nick. I saw you took some stuff down. Sorry about that.
When adding these highlights, rim lightings, and other details, what's good practice for doing all of that on one layer versus separate layers?
I would say I try to break everything up like this. Rim lighting is on one layer. Shadows are on another layer. Deeper shadows are on another layer. I try to break things up like that. Highlights are on another layer. Like this right now, I'm going to go to a deeper shadow, set that to multiply. And I'm just going to go in and push some of these darker areas to be darker. Like in here, in the mouth.
Are you using a textured brush to do a few of the greens, and also are you going to add texture to his eyeballs?
No. So no, I'm not using a textured brush. And I might add a little texture to the eyeballs, but right now I'm just leaving it because we're running out of time. I wanted you to see what I'm doing, and I can push some of the texture, some of the darkness in the textures themselves. You can see here I'm going into the above the eye into some of these textures, set on multiply to go deeper and darker. I'm just drawing them in, see? It's getting deeper and darker.
Last year at Lightbox, my favorite moment by far was meeting you, my artistic hero,
Oh, thank
and
you.
purchasing one of your original drawings, the giraffe and lion cubs.
Oh yeah.
And what was your favorite moment from Lightbox last year and this year?
Well, I love being able to do this from home. I miss being there to see everybody, but there's definitely a convenience from not having to check into a hotel room and lug, prints and staging and all kinds of stuff across the country. But I love being able to interact.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with Manny, and we just did a thing with Expedition Art, which was fun, and talking about our experiences. I love sharing experiences.
Yeah, definitely both methods have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
Like, what would you, as my own addition to that question, what would you rather do? Would you rather do the live streaming where we can just stay at home but not be able to interact in person with the people,
Right.
or travel all the way over there, stay and lug everything over there, but be able to interact with with the fans?
I'm definitely getting a little antsy.
You don't want to get out of the house.
Yeah. So at this point, I'd love to get out and interact.
I don't think anybody would blame you at this point. I think everybody's itching to get out.
Yeah.
You got to get out.
Out.
Get out. Have you heard that Mark Henn used to crank out scenes extremely fast? Was there anyone else as efficient as Mark Henn?
I was there when Mark Henn was doing it. Mark Henn and I had offices right next to each other. No, nobody was as fast as Mark Henn. He was insanely fast. But you know how he did it? He didn't come out of his office. He was dedicated. Super dedicated. So now, I'm just going to show you really quick. We've got this. Let me do one last thing over here to get the textures. I want to get the eyes just right, and I'm just going to do some finishing details. What do I have? 15 minutes.
Somebody's asking, did you guys apply for the silver play button from YouTube for passing 100,000 followers?
I've already got it.
Subscribers?
I've got it up. It's
Yeah.
right there.
Should show it.
I'm trying to get this done.
Oh yeah, we're a little behind schedule.
I want to make sure I can get all this fini.
Fini, all these fiend.
We get a little bit of texture in the eyes here. The person was asking if we're going to do any texture. I'll do it right here. Very quickly.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah. So you can see all that if I blow it up. Isn't that cool how that texture sits in there? It's kind of neat. Obviously we can sit here for hours and render it and get it sitting better. Well, let's do this. I'm going to take this and we're going to come up here and I'm going to put all that in a folder, and then I'm going to double it. I'm going to come up to layer and I'm going to merge the group. I've got a couple areas here that I just want to erase back. Now this is kind of cool. I'm going to come up, I want to play with the depth of field. So I'm going to make it a shallow depth of field. So anything, I'm going to make sure the focus is right around the bridge of the nose and the eye that's on the left. And anything receding away from us is going to go out of focus. So I'm going to grab my smear tool and I'm going to grab my soft round brush. We're going to come up here and I'm just going to start smearing it, but when I'm using a soft round, I just hold it in place and it just blurs it out. I don't use the blur tool because I actually get more control doing it this way. And as things get further and further away, they get more and more blurry because they're out of the depth of field. And it starts to become kind of, I don't know, photographic. kind of a fun thing to do.
The same person I was asking about the silver YouTube button says should pink the play button on a live stream in the future. That sounds a little simple.
So once again, I want to remind you guys, go on over to, if you want some more specials, Lightbox specials, go to creatureartteacher.com/LBX 2020. 2020, and we've got some really great specials that just for our Lightbox folks over there. So go check that out. That's creatureartteacher.com/LBX 2020. And the other thing I want to remind you is October 10th, we've got a live event coming up on I talk about my approach to drawing animals, and we're really excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. One of the great things we're going to be doing is taking some of our Africa footage, and we're going to be playing it and drawing right from the footage, and you'll be able to join me doing that. So if you're interested in learning how I draw animals and joining me, then go on over to creatureartteacher.com/live, and you'll be able to join us and get some more information over there.
/live.
Live. Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me or to live.
So here we are, blurring out some of our texture here. There, so this is because he's out of focus. It's a shallow depth of field right there. Let's just blow that up a little more. So that's using photographic textures. Like I said, I could have taken this, we could take this a lot more, getting the eyelashes, getting all of that. Let's do, I want to do, hey, let's do one more thing.
One more thing, there it is.
Photo bash.
Erica said already signed up for it.
Photo bash demo.
Photo bash demo.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to take, we're going to double that up, and we're going to take this, and we're going to put that into a folder, and then we're going to double that, and we're going to turn that off.
You can go with this, or you can go with that.
And I'm going to take this background, and we're going to take that, and I'm going to go blur, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Just knock that right out of focus. Okay, so that sits there a little better. And then now I'm going to go to layer and merge group. So now everything's on one layer, just like so. And I want to play with the image adjustments. Let's go to hue and saturation. Let's saturate that just a little bit. That feels pretty good. And now I'm going to go to image adjustments exposure. I think I want to push, make it just a little richer, just like that.
A little Richie Rich.
A little richer. Actually, I'm going to pull back on that image adjustments, hue and saturation. Pull back on that saturation just a touch. It feels a little too much. Okay, but I do think I like pushing that contrast a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go up to, let's see, we're going to go to our paintbrush. I'm going to set it to color dodge. We're going to knock the opacity way down to about 8%. Turn that off. I want to get a nice hot color, real bright. And I'm going to come up here, right, let's say the light's coming from here. So I'm just going to burn that in, just nice and hot. So that feels a little brighter. We'll get a little bit more here. It's catching light there. Catching some light here. Catching some light here. And get that eyeball really bright. So we're pushing the light right now. We get a little brighter up here. he's really got a little sheen coming off of his head. Kind of let it blend out. You don't want to get, I'm going to get a little bit of a burn. I'm going to burn it out right there. Just to get a nice sheen on top of his head. There we go. That's not so bad. We'll get a little bit in here. Under the bags of the eye. That feels like it's catching a little more light. And then right in that reflected, that rim lighting, I'm going to burn that and get some of that really hot. Aaron, what would you say is one of the most important things in a story-driven? Oh, I read that one. How do you decide to declare a work finished and move on? I find myself tweaking and revising pieces endlessly and have trouble knowing what to let go and share. You know, I try and something out. I have a pretty good idea in my head of where I want it, what I want it to be, and so it's you know, I've overdone pieces for sure. It's just it's experience that you're going to learn, you know, over time you'll learn it. But it's definitely, it's tempting to keep going, isn't it? Twitch question: do you believe literally any person can create this type of art with proper training? Or do you think some people may not be cut for artists? No, I think anyone can, as long as you're willing to learn, I think anyone can do this. This isn't brain surgery.
Yeah, the method to learn it may be different to other people depending on their learning styles, but...
Styles.
But in the end, as long as they keep with the routine that they come up with,
this is
they
the
can
end.
make it. This is the end. My only friend, the end.
All right, let's crop some of this out because I didn't do the flower. Sorry. Let's just do a little head. I only had time for the flower.
What he needs is one giant cowbell.
All
Wow.
right. There we go. And now let's take it and let's just make it feel a little. Let's go to filter, blur gallery, tilt shift. Let's put a little tilt shift on it. The end. There we go. Put it a little, push it a little more. That's too much. Good enough. Come on.
I recently came across an article on 25 things you should never say to an artist.
Z.
Is there a question you hate answering the most?
No. No, I hate answering all of them. No, I'm kidding. No, there's not a question that I hate answering the most. Really. I answer a lot of the same questions over and over, but I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me.
What do you think is which question do you think you get the most often?
Oh, I don't know. What would you think? What do you think?
How do I draw better? How do I improve my drawing?
We get a lot of brush questions. What's your favorite animal to draw?
Oh yeah, those.
You know, that kind of stuff.
A lot of favorites.
I'm just putting a little gradient down here just to darken it from the sides. There we go. I know, I forgot the earring. I know. I got caught up in the textures and let's see if we can do it real quick. Well, it's all blurred out. It's probably easier to do this. What time we got? Got 5 minutes. So I want to do a little grunge texture on here.
I don't know if it's the nose, but
The nose butt? I don't have a nose butt on there.
God, what's his name? Reminds me of like a like a somewhat like elf version of a certain actor. I can't think of any. Um, there it is.
So I'm just adding a little grunge texture on here just to make it feel a little. Adjustments, exposure. I'm gonna push. Just make it feel kind of old timey.
Oh, Danny.
Old timey. Hello, Tommy. Just a little bit, and now I can come in here with my eraser and just clean out some of the areas that I don't want the grunge texture. There. There's our little character. Look at that. Little happy guy.
Oh yeah, you do get asked a lot. What was Walt Disney like?
You bastard.
I think the one you do get annoyed sometimes with is the that one question that has to do with a certain voice recognition technology
Oh my gosh, stop it.
in a lift in a place called Scotland.
Okay, so now what I can do here is I come up and grab this, grab this, grab
It
this.
looks like Gooby Dobby from Harry Potter's strange cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's the nose, but I really feel like I could see it being voiced by Ben Kingsley. I don't know why. I'm certain it's the nose.
Oh, shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm getting Kingsley vibes from
Vibes?
this elf. Huh?
Ben Kingsley vibes.
Ben Kingsley vibes.
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 Is that weird?
Vibes.
Vibes. You know
There
who
you go.
Ben Kingsley is, right?
Of course I do. Who do you think I am?
Who do you think I am? You? Good point.
Get a little bit of his body reflected in his earring. There, we got an earring now.
Some examples of those things not to say to an artist. That's a hobby, not a job. What's your real job? I wish I had that much time on my hands. You're just wasting your time. Did you get these at least in early stage of your career? How did you push back against that mentality?
I learned to ignore it. The other one I hate is, hey, I want to hire you to do this job, and we'll allow you to sign it. And we'll give you marketing, free marketing.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. A couple of folks agree that it's a Ben Kingsley vibe. So one of them, Erica, says that it's probably because of the bald head.
Yeah, there you go. So there it is. There is our little creature done with photographic textures using our elephant texture pack. And like I said, those texture packs are available on our website. Or if you just want to create your own, go out and shoot photos. And take fur textures. Use gravel. Use road textures. Use wood textures. There's all kinds of stuff. I've been taking photo textures and keeping them in libraries for years, and I've got thousands and thousands of them, and I use them in my illustrations, my digital illustrations all the time, and I get so many people that when I do this, they go, "Isn't that cheating?" Not really. And if it is, yeah, it is cheating. It's helping you get to the finished product a lot quicker, especially if you're doing this as a profession and you have to come up with a creature and its textures and everything and present them, and you have to do it in a timely manner. Well, then, yeah, you better cheat every way you can in order to get it there as quickly as possible. And so that's why I started doing this at Disney, so that I could create characters that the executives could get behind and understand and see and approve. And so that's what I did, and it's just fun to do. It's a lot of fun. It's fun, sometimes another thing, like with the eyes, it's fun to take pictures of your own eyes, create a creature, and then put your eyes in the photos of your eyes in there. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I've done that quite a bit. But anyway, so there you go. There, and what time is it?
6:30.
Oh, right on time. So once again, going over to creatureartteacher.com/LBX2020, and there's all kinds of deals over there on our courses and our posters. Lots of great stuff. And once again, we've got a brand new course out on how to draw birds of prey. That's in pre-order, so you can get 50% off on that. And then the other thing too is October 10th, we are doing a live event. I'm going to be talking about for 6 hours. I'm going to be talking about how to draw animals, my approach, and we're going to do some really cool lessons, and that's at creatureartteacher.com/live. I hope you guys learned something here. I really loved coming back to Lightbox again. I'm sorry we couldn't do it in person, but this is the next best thing. Bobby Chu, if you're listening, or if you do hear this, thank you so much for having us back. You guys put on an amazing event, and we are just absolutely honored and thankful to be part of it. So thank you again for having us back. Hope you guys have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, and join us every Friday for our live streams at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we do the same thing. So hopefully we'll see you again. Have a great week. See you on Friday. Go out, put some beauty back into the world. Be nice to somebody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. If any of you guys are new here and interested in any wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram over at Dustin_Blaise, where I post new wildlife photos all the time. And also on CreatureArtTeacher.com, I have my own wildlife reference packs you can check out. So go over there, check those out. And once again, thank you guys so much. And it was awesome being here at Lightbox. And we will see you guys next Friday. Until then, Cowboy Bebop. See ya.